Two. So not that long ago. So things like navigating weather, sure, but navigating being an international graduate learner, what does that mean? Academic life in Canada, like all these different kinds of things we'll talk about. So let's kind of get into our conversation today. Now, what questions do you have for our panelists? I'm going to say if you want to maybe check into this now, so maybe like as the conversation goes on, you're going to say, oh, I want to ask that. You don't have a question yet, that's fine. But right now, if you want to take a picture of this on the screen, then you can always refer to this QR code or just scan the QR code and it should come to a page called menti.com. Menti.com, for our virtual folks, it works for you the exact same. Menti.com allows you to kind of submit questions to us. Please, like, if you have like a couple questions, cool, but like I think we have a cap of like questions we can accept. And so my amazing colleagues at the back are going to be filtering the questions as they come through and then message me on my phone to say what kind of questions we think are most pertinent, what themes are we hearing and seeing. So I might not go verbatim what you say, but I'm going to kind of take general sense. But we do have some predetermined questions, so these folks can kind of lean on and share that information with you too. So am I okay to jump on to the next slide here? I don't want to kind of do that before people have a chance to get a picture. I see a couple more. I see a couple more cameras up, so I'll give that one more second. Did Menti work? Did the link work for people? You can see it's a pretty basic page. Okay, great. So let's get into things. So I have three folks to introduce you to. First, my colleague Wasana, BIA student, semester 3. Everyone welcome Wasana. Say hello. Love it. So Wasana is one of our student ambassadors on our team right now. She has the cool orientation picture on in her photo, but she's wearing her ambassador shirt with us today, which is really great. Great to have you here. Also been on this panel before, so a bit of a leader in this space, which is really, really exciting. Okay. So we have Shruti. Shruti, also BIA student, currently on scheduled break. So that's fun. Well, maybe we can talk about scheduled break and what that means, what that feels like, and how you make the most of your time. But semester 2 student in BIA, also a student ambassador. Maybe join them for community hours. They have Jenga and other things going on. You can see her in her picture right there. But great to have you here, Shruti, as well. Thank you. And Seisha, amazing. Thanks for joining us as well. GBM, so Global Business Management students, semester 2. So the freshest or the most close to where you folks are in your experience right now. So maybe there's some relevance and connection to that as well. Seisha, are you on the SAC, a Student Advisory Committee? Yes. So maybe we can talk about that as well. So the Student Advisory Committee, he can speak to, my colleague Evelyn coordinates that space, but really it's an area for students to give their voice to the way that we operate our program services here on campus. And so he sits on that role. Super, super cool. So we have some student leaders in the community in different ways. This could also be you down the road. So maybe you have questions like that, being like, how do I want to be that person? How do I want to follow in that pathway? We'll find that out together. Are we cool to kind of move forward? Is that all right if we jump ahead? Okay, let's do it. So we have a couple questions. Again, prescribed, pardon the Menti link. I'm going to disregard that one because that one is expired from last semester. I forgot to change this. So that first QR code I gave you is the Menti to use. Now, if you missed that QR code, I'll just do that one more time in case you missed the QR code at the beginning. Take a quick picture of that one last call in case you missed it. So disregard the QR codes on the actual question slides. Okay, do we all get it? Do we get it? Everyone's like, shoot, I do want to ask a question now. Give me that QR code. Okay. And so at any time in the conversation, you can present or you can pose your questions, and my colleagues at the back are going to filter them. And then once we get through our scheduled ones, we'll get to those questions at the end. Okay. Okay. Let's do it. Okay. So I'm going to let you folks kind of take the lead. I'll read the question out and I'll let you kind of respond however you want. So first question here. What's something you wish you knew, as the program suggests, the week before classes began?
Thank you, Todd. So as I spoke, I answered this same question last time. So I spoke to my group mates. I'm very close with my group mates to get their opinion. So we have in my group there's Lisandro, Spash, Alejandra, Anna Maria, and Arundhati. So Lisandro says about he wished he knew more about the assignments, group projects, so that he can get a better sense of how much time each one would consume and how to better organize his schedule each week because he's working full time for a Brazilian company. And because that would help him improve his time managing and balancing efforts and meet the deadlines while managing his full time and his studies. So Sparsh is saying the understanding of difference between the teaching methods here in Canada and his home country, which is India, and to help him get a better head start. So he's more prepared for his classes. And he also would like to know which courses would like to have known which courses would need extra effort. Like, for example, in the Business Insights and Analytics program, Canadian Business in semester 1, and Big Data in semester 2, I'd like to get a head start so that I understand things better as taught in class. For me, I wished I knew more about the importance of attending all the networking events here in Canada, because making connections is very important. At the end of this, the semester goes by very fast, so we need to be ready for when we need to start applying for jobs, and networking is key. So IC Hub has a volunteer advantage, gain experience, and build connections session here at Humber, and definitely recommend that you attend it. It's on the 11th January at 3:30. You can book a spot using the IGS portal. So you go to igs.humber.ca and book events through that. Over to Shruti.
So, hello everybody. Moving on to the second thing that we jotted down, which was the resources that Humber provides and Humber IGS specifically. So, when I first came in, I did not have a laptop. My laptop was worn out. I left it back and I was like, okay, I'm going to get a new laptop that is going to be suited more to the program requirements that I have, right? And the program requirements, you'll have orientation for every course. So the program coordinator will walk you through the program requirements. So when I came in, I didn't have a laptop. Really cool facility that Humber IGS provides. On the fifth floor, you can just go in and you can loan a laptop just for a temporary use. So it's very easy. You have Avro mobile with you. You just have to log in, scan the QR code, borrow the laptop for 4 hours. Once it gets discharged, you can return it back. And it can work if you're coming from a different place and coming back from your part time or something like that. You don't have laptop on yourself and you need it. It's an amazing facility. We also have a really cool tech hub on the fifth floor. So in case you have any technical doubts with respect to network or your gadget or anything, you can just go there and check in with them. So that's the first thing. That's the tech zone. That's on the fifth floor of the campus. The second thing, the printing facility, we have a printer on every floor. So you could just use your phone, scan the Avro mobile there, and just you have to upload your documents pre-hand on myprinting.humber.ca. After you upload it, you can just directly take a printout and use it. So you have like a $25 limit and it takes 20 cents I think for every copy, so you can print as many copies as you want. So that's just for one semester, so you can use it as much as you want in case you want to print out anything. That applies for your assignments, for your part-time resumes, anything like that. uh, then a really cool thing, we have an amazing tie-up with TMU for the recreational facility. So gymming, right? You just, in case you want to set it up in your schedule, it's 1.5 kilometer away from this campus. You could just directly walk in and you have to sign up beforehand, but we have an amazing tie-up. You could use the badminton facility, gymming facility. They have really good swimming pool as well. And that's my new year resolution that I need to incorporate that in my schedule as well this semester. So yes, that the TMU recreational facility, it's really good. We have checked it out, and I think you're gonna have a session on it on 12 Jan, 12:45. We can assemble in the Learning Commons, and we can take you from there to the TMU gym, just so that we know about that facility existing. Let's use that as well for our benefit. Then that amazing thing that we have here is, so when you come to Canada, you are supposed, we have that thing in us that you're supposed to search for everything on your own, right? We have IGS portal with us here. So all the events that are happening in the campus, even if it is our community hours, any event that we are hosting as student ambassadors, or any event that the student advisors are hosting, or any other clubs are hosting, all of them would be listed on the community portal page. So that's one thing. And in case you need to book any appointments with any student advisors, right? You have a need an appointment page. You can just directly book the appointment or join them during their drop-in sessions and ask for help. So we have amazing people right there, Micah, Evelyn, Tejo, who will guide you about it. So we have the IC Hub. They, if you need help with your resume, your cover letter, uh, or any job fairs that are coming up, you can directly reach out to the IC Hub. In case you want any help on the fees, your study permit or your work permit, or if you want to get into the second course, let's not talk about that because we're just starting our first course now. But yeah, so all sorts of those questions would be handled by this sub, and you could just directly book an appointment via the portal. And also every week we have a newsletter that comes out. Everything that's going to happen on the campus, that has already happened in the campus, or any information that students of IGS are supposed to know, that comes in on the newsletter. So that was the newsletter. And I had a chance to be a part of the career mentorship program in my first semester, wherein you're paired with some industry professional and you can get to know about that particular industry and autocorrect how you are going your way, suited more to the industry standards. So that was something that was hosted again by the IC Hub, and I had a chance to be a part of it, and I gained really a lot from that. So that is one thing that you can look forward to. Other than that, we have a peer mentorship program as well, wherein you get connected to your seniors in the same campus. Not similarly, I mean, not necessary to be a part of the same course, but obviously, I mean, maintaining a good bond with your seniors is really important. So that is one thing that I gained really good knowledge from about the peer mentorship, because I got to know about a lot of on-campus opportunities, and also how to go about this particular course that I have. um, Other than that, we have a peer tutoring facility in case you're facing any challenge in any particular course. You could just go in, book an appointment. It's like a 3 hours, 3 hours per week thing, wherein a tutor comes in and he'll teach you. So those things I think we can walk through you through the entire thing. But yeah, these are some resources that I wished I knew about. Most importantly, the community page that we have, the igs.humber.ca. I think, yeah, these are the resources that I wish I knew about. Over to you.
Hello, guys. Good afternoon. I'm really glad to see a lot of new faces today. And since you guys are joining us for the new semester, I'm really looking forward to connect with all of you guys. So today I'll be explaining a little bit about how to get prepped for your first classes, and also on our tie-up with like we have a digital platform called Blackboard. So let's go on to first how to get prepped up for your first classes. Initially, as a student, because I just did my first semester and I'm on my just holidays right now. So when I came for my first classes, I felt the pressure of not being able to find out which class I was in initially, and I couldn't set up with my timetable. So first and foremost, what's important is to understand your timetable, because each each group or each course, they have a different timetable and the timings are pretty different. So and also many most of the students would like, if you're since you're newcomers, you would have you will be also looking up for your part-time jobs and stuff. So in that case, you'll have to allocate a proper time for your timetable. Firstly, it's important to look upon your class numbers, because in the 3 floors there are so many classrooms, and you can find your course as well as your class number in your timetable, so that you can get settled upon. Second thing is get to know your classmates, because when you come here, you're coming very far from your country, so it's better to get to know your classmates well, make a good bunch of friends, so that because you'll be having a lot of assignments and stuff ahead. So it'll be good to connect with your fellow peers, so that you have a good relationship with your classmates. Then speaking thirdly, we have a basic review of your syllabus. Like when I came as a student, I had 6 subjects in my course, and I just went through a basic outline, so that before you get into your first class, you at least know what is it about, and whether you have had a basic knowledge about it in prior to your studies over here. After that, we have time management. Time management is a crucial aspect that we all have to look upon, because over here we have classes from the morning till evening, and since each class ranges up around 3 hours, so it's better to make sure that. And some also start early in the morning around 8 a.m. So in our countries, we would have had classes at different timings, and we would have had a different routine. So getting adapted to a new routine, managing your time will be a really important thing that you'll have to follow over here. And finally, the fifth point that we'll have is tech check. So over here, most of our resources are online, because since we have Blackboard, it's like all the course materials or assignments, everything that you will access upon, it'll be online. So it's always important that you have your laptops and digital tools ready. And as Shruti mentioned in prior, like whoever students who don't have a laptop or who are in need of a laptop, they can loan it up in the 5th floor and use it on a daily basis until you get a new one. And it's really convenient because I've personally been through situations where I've had a MacBook and I couldn't access MS Office very conveniently in that. So over here they have Dell, so it's Windows, so it's very convenient to use. So in that case, the tech facility over here is really good. So in case you need it, you can use it for sure. And then moving on a little into Blackboard. So Blackboard is a centralized digital platform that we have, which Humba uses in order to what do you say, provide us with our course materials, provide us with our assignments, and also our exams, and all our grades will also be mentioned in that. So using Blackboard, it plays a really important role. You will have your syllabus and critical path outline in your Blackboard. You can look up on what are the important due dates that you have over a period of time, what are the important dates on assignment submission, and also you will be able to, the major advantage of Blackboard is like you'll have a notification for every new due date or every message that a professor sends into the for each course. If you usually there are announcements upon when there are exams ahead, or when there are going to be tests kept upon. So using Blackboard will help you understand all of these. And there's also an app for Blackboard has a mobile app which you can download, which is you can use it on your laptop as well as you can use it on your mobile as well. It'll make it really convenient for you to access your course materials and also meet all your deadlines. And yeah, this is pretty much about Blackboard. In conclusion, I would like to what do you say, as we embark on this semester together, I hope we can all get together and let's get on this semester on a positive note. And I'm wishing you all the success ahead, guys.
Thank you.
Great, folks. Thanks so much. And I think I know we're all excited. We're all maybe a little bit nervous about like presenting to all you folks. So we're gonna take a breath collectively. We're all doing a great job here. Really cool content. I think really good insights. A couple points to kind of just clarify. Shruti mentioned her being part of the career mentorship program in her first semester. That's something that she applies for her second semester. So in week 8, those applications open up. But we do have that peer mentorship program available for you for first semester. That may have been different when you're back in first semester back then. But that's great. Okay, so let's kind of talk about this is kind of like an overview, right? Like, what do I wish I knew? Lots of different topics there. Well, let's talk about like some actual things you have tangibly done. So what resources have you used? Let's open that conversation. And also I'll mention too, when Wasana was referencing, she has some colleagues she was sourcing as well. So it's not just 3 people you're hearing from today. I think it's 6 people you're hearing from today. So we have like 2 plus 4. So that's great. So I'll open it up. So what resources have you folks used?
I think Shruti went through all the resources that she has used previously. So I'll just give overall of the resources that I use. Blackboard, definitely. When I wake up in the morning, definitely check on my messages on Blackboard what the professors post, because professors post notifications for the whole entire class on Blackboard, and you can even message your team members through Blackboard. And if there are any new updates on Blackboard, you can subscribe to get an email right on that time as well. So Blackboard, definitely. Then the IGS portal for all the events happening in and around Toronto. So our IC Hub works very hard to get Humber students free passes to most of the very important networking sessions happening in and around Toronto. So last semester we attended Elevate Festival, both Shruti and I, and we also got passes to attend Scale Without Borders, which was at the Royal Ontario Museum, which is amazing. We get to meet a lot of people, not only at Humber, so we need to expand our network. When it comes to, we have to strategically network so that we get, when the time comes when we have to apply for a job, we know who we can contact and we know what to do properly. That is one. Then the library services. So Humber Library gives us access to a lot of major databases. So when we are doing assignments, especially for me personally and my group personally, for when we did Canadian business in Business Insights and Analytics semester 1, we accessed this resource and we used this resource to the maximum, and which was beneficial for us because we got a good grade as well, we as a group. And Humber also provides assistance with APA referencing. So if you are not sure how to reference, which is very important, you have to refer your sources properly. For assignments, Humber gives you support and assistance on how to do that. And then, as Shruti mentioned, the newsletter, the Buzz on Hayden newsletter, be aware of it. You'll get it every Monday, weekly. And the My Humber portal, as Sesha mentioned, when accessing the timetable. And also, I definitely have used the IC Hub. I've spoken to Kim and Micah on getting my resume revamped, even for a part-time position. When I first arrived, even to get my resume changed to apply for part-time jobs, I used the IC Hub services, and also I've used the Student Success Hub services. I've spoken to Evelyn if when there were issues with my fees, and especially when you need to know more information on applying for scholarships. Evelyn is there to help you, and Teja is there to help you with any of the immigration services. That is, any advice regarding, okay, if your study permits needs extension, what are you going to do? How are you going to prepare for postgraduate when you're applying for a postgraduate work permit, things like that. So that's overall view of what I've used. Over to Sesha.
From my point of view, the resources that I've used is as I mentioned earlier, I had to use the tech zone a lot because for me there was an issue in my laptop. So tech zone is one thing that I used. Then as Vasana mentioned, Buzz on Hidden. It was a really important newsletter for me because I really love attending events, and for me, like Buzz on Hidden provided a lot of opportunities to attend events. And like speaking about the even speaking about the SAC, that was a committee that I joined. There was an invitation for joining those. Applying for those committees, which was there on Buzz on Hidden. It provides you with leadership opportunities so that you can apply. And like if you're eligible, and if they find you if they find you good enough, they'll take you for the role. So that was one opportunity that through Buzz on Hayden, I was able to get into that role. That helped me a lot. And the print center over here is really convenient because it's just 2 cents per page, and it's very economical as well. So like every semester you're provided with $25 in your $25, and that provides you with a lot, so that like if you need a lot any material for your projects, or if you want to study for your exams, you can come over here and you can just print. And as Shruti mentioned, they have a print center on all the 3 floors, and getting them used will be really accessible for you. And also yeah, that's pretty much the resources that I've used.
Awesome. So lots of different things heard there. You heard the reference Buzz on Hayden a few times. So you haven't received this email yet, but every Monday, I just want to clarify what this was. So Monday afternoons, you'll get a newsletter from our team. And so we know that Humber sends a lot of emails, and we're trying at the IGS, we send one a week. That's it. The rest of Humber, we can't control the rest of Humber, but Humber IGS sends one email a week, and so we really recommend. And it sounds like students find benefit to that. It's not just involvement; it's also like key deadlines, those kind of things. Really, really helpful. So I'm glad you folks agree with that as well, because it's nice to consolidate. Okay, so I think Sisha was kind of answering this question a little bit earlier, so we can kind of maybe like build off that a little bit. So the question is, how did you prepare to attend your first class? Did you use Blackboard? So I think we heard a lot about that from Stacia. I'm curious, other people have any answers to that or anything to add to that? Thank you.
So my first class at Humber was quantitative methods with Professor Hang. She was amazing. She used to print tutorials for us and give it. She was amazing. We could ask her anything, and she was very understanding and supportive. So for me to prepare for the first class, I went through the course outline, which you can find on Blackboard, and I also went through the critical path. So critical path highlights the most important deadlines and dates that you should know from the course. So for example, if you have a quiz on week 4, if you have an assignment due by week 7, so I manage my time basically by looking at the critical path and entering it on my calendar, so that I know I have this much of days or weeks to prepare for this quiz or assignment, and things like that. And I also checked out the course outline highlights the books that resources that the course recommends that you read. So I access those books from my Humber portal, and it depends from professor to professor, but most professors upload assistive learning material, which is very beneficial. So apart from the material that is compulsory for each and every student to read, there's assistive materials that you can go through, videos you can watch to get more about the content, and as Shruti mentions, there's peer tutoring to help extra with supportive and to give you more support to understand the content of each um, semester and course. What to say, Shah?
For me, in terms of Blackboard usage, from day one, Blackboard provided a key role in helping out managing time. Like also in terms of every week we had a quiz for us, like especially in quantitative methods and human and project management. We had a quiz and project every week. So on a regular basis, Blackboard provides us those quizzes, and we were able to perform it. And like most of the and in terms of exams and quizzes, everything's online over here. In terms in Blackboard, you'll have a preset exams in Blackboard. And other than that, what else? I think that's all I know. Blackboard.
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I was a working professional back home. And so for me, coming from that space to an educational space where I'm and attending a lecture and listening to someone else for a change, right? So that was really important. So the way I prepared for it was when I came into the class the first day, professors, every course has a unique critical path that Vasna mentioned. And it is not like you have a 20% weightage on assignment one in this course and you'll have the same in the other course. One is more practical oriented, the other one is more theoretical oriented. So you need to be very sure of what kind of expectations does that particular course have, right? The course outline and the critical path, these are two things that you need to be very sure of in each and every course. And using the critical path, you can also manage your time. So let's say, like Vasana mentioned, if you have one particular deadline due in week 8, and another subject also has a deadline due in week 8, you can prioritize one and start on it early. And group assignments, this is the first semester, so you'll get to know the group work, teamwork is really important for you to complete all of the assignments on time really well. And so yeah, that is one thing that you have to be very sure of. And just mentally prepare yourself beforehand, because it's really difficult being away from home. But once you get to manage your time really well, and once you understand what all resources you have at your hand, and the facilities here are really amazing, so you can leverage all of them. All right.
Excellent. That's great. So, I mean, now you folks are so ready to start your classes, no problems. There will be some bumps along the way, but I think what we're hearing from our colleagues here is that there are different ways forward. And so hopefully you can take some of these elements that they've shared in this conversation and apply it to yourself as you reflect over the next couple of days, over the weekend, and then starting your classes on Monday. And then it's not all starting on Monday, right? It's a journey. We use that word all the time. It's a journey. And so it's going to be moving through that semester as you go and grow as well. So that's awesome. So I'm going to pause ourselves right here. We're going to turn it over to some of your questions. Before I do that, I want to make sure those of us that were in the conversation before, virtually or in person, know the importance of checking in. I want to quickly pull up the check-in one more time, and then we're going to finish off with some questions from you. So I'm going to go right back really quickly here, just for folks to check in. So if you hadn't done the check-in yet, please do that. Everyone already did the check-in? We're already good? Or, okay, so I'll give one more second, do a quick check-in. Those that are virtual, you can do this as well. And then we'll get to some of the questions, and we'll kind of finish off our conversation hearing what you folks are most curious about. So here's some of the questions. I'll say it to you, but it's just so you can see what's coming. Okay. All right, I see some people scanning still. I'll put it up right at the end, but I want to make sure we do it before it gets to 12, because once 12 happens, the check-in gets pulled away. Okay, so we're all good here. One more second for you in the red jacket. We'll give you one more second. Awesome. Okay, I'm moving ahead. Great. So questions from you. Oh, sorry, Evelyn, you already had it ready. Okay, so let's, so I'll leave that QR up actually, because Evelyn's so smart, she planned this. Let's get into some of our questions. So first question we got from you, a bit of a general consensus. So how do I get my student ID? And maybe also, like, do I use it for anything? Like, what do I use it for? So how do I get my student ID?
So the student ID is virtual from last semester. So you can access it through Avro Mobile. So you go to Avro Mobile and you log in using your N number and password.
Avro Mobile is an app.
Is an app. Yes,
So
it's an app.
AVRO.
AVRO Mobile.
Okay. So Avro Mobile login.
Login.
It's a virtual. Now, some people are curious about a physical card. No,
We don't
no
have.
longer do physical. So
Yes, we don't have a physical card anymore. And like Shruti mentioned, when accessing the lending library, you can use the Avro mobile app, open and scan your QR code, and the door is just going to open, and you can take any book, close the door.
Yeah, so the printing facility, the laptop lending facility, the library, everything, we just have one card and you can just simply scan it and use it for your need, right?
That's awesome. Now, sometimes outside of Humber, people are maybe curious about having an ID card. I'm sensing maybe like the TTC or the transit. I had that yesterday from some folks. We're learning to communicate with our community partners about the fact that we're moving away from a physical card. A, it's a waste of like physical resources, but B, it's a lot more difficult to get them printed, issued, delivered to you when you can do it on your own. So we are working with our community partners about that. We are also going to see the TTC later on. Is it today? Later on today. So we'll have a chance to have a conversation with folks when we get there that way too, but maybe nice to have your Avro mobile app ready to go. I see a follow-up question. What do you got? I can answer that question actually, if that's okay. So good question. Go ahead.
Is that through the automobile, whenever you scan, it starts counting like that?
I'll answer both just to save time. So I want to get them to answer, but one is the first question was talking about the TMU gym. Do you use the Avro mobile app? No. So the TMU. So I would actually look up in the App Store or Google Play Store, whatever it's called, TMU Rec. Yeah, TMU REC, and then you should have received an email from TMU in the last week. And it gave you instructions on getting your account. That's the only time as a Humber IGS student that you don't use your Humber single sign-on. Everything else, you use your Humber N number, all that stuff. It's the one time you have to do it. You create your account on the side because it's not Humber. And then you use their app. It's a great app. It's pretty basic looking, but very functional. And you scan to get in. So that was the question about TMU Gym. The follow-up question was about the printing declining balance of $25. My understanding is yes. When you scan, it takes the declining balance off of your account by scanning. So that was they're worrying about printing. Yes.
On the printing, you can log into myprinting.humber.ca, and it gives at the end, it shows you the balance for that semester. So that's, you go to myprinting.humber.ca to upload the documents which you want to print, and then you log in from the printer to print the documents.
Awesome. Good follow-up. Okay, next question. So next question is, are all of the books we need as a student available in that library? Okay, so if the answer is no, where do we go?
So yeah, so like in most cases, like you won't have all the books because even though it's good, we have a pretty small library over here. But if you need any more extensive material or you need more reading material, you have the Toronto Reference Library over here in Bay Street. So if you go there, you'll able to you can just get, it's a free membership. You know, if you show your student ID and if you show your a study permit, they'll give you a free membership card, and by that you can even borrow books, and you can also, it's a big library, so you can get any reference material or study material that you want from the Toronto Reference Library. It's just it's just a 10 minutes walk from here. And also you have other facilities over there, like you have an internet browsing center. You can, if you're not in college, you can even take printing resources from the library as well. So any other resources that you want which is not available over here, you can get it from the Toronto Reference Library.
In my case, for business insights and analytics, it depends from program to program and subject to subjects, the books that you want to access. Most of the books are available, ebooks are available for you for free to access on Humber Library Resources. And if you have any questions, when you go to Humber Library Resources, there's at the left end, you can find the librarian and to email him for any other databases that you may want to access. And for some courses, especially in our program, we were in our first semester, we were asked to purchase the book because we have assignments based on that book, and the professor logs in from his from their end to check if we have completed the assessments on that book. So we have, it depends from subject to subject. And as Sesha mentioned, we can always go to the Toronto Public Library to get more books as well. But most of the ebooks are available on Humber Library Resources.
Yeah, just to add on to that, so we have really good assignments wherein you're supposed to research and come out with your own material. So during my first semester, we had a subject called as Canadian business, wherein we were supposed to analyze Canadian companies and look at their particular markets. So we used Humble Libraries there, and they have free access to websites like Marketline. That gives you a lot of information, open information about the company's financials, about how they're operating in their market segment. So that is one thing that it helped me really well in my first semester. So Humble Libraries, I think it gives you really good information, and your course teacher will also tell you more about this, about the resources particular to that particular course, so you don't have to worry about that, right?
Last thing, unlike as the world's moving more digital and things are becoming more like time sensitive, like a book that's published might be obsolete within a couple of years. So the idea of the physical book is also becoming less and less popular. However, I don't think it happens very often at the IGS, but if there's ever a book at the other libraries, you can request it to have it come here. I'm not sure if you folks know this, but like there might be like a reference book or something like that. Like you can sometimes you can have them shipped to our campus to have like a taken out. But I think most of the time you're having the solutions these folks mentioned here. Okay, this is a really great question, this next one. Okay, so can you share any tips on how you balanced your coursework with your own personal life? I'm hearing yes twice. So all the people here agree. Okay.
Okay. So I love watching sunrises and sunsets. So when I first came to Canada, yes, I had a particular schedule, right? As in, yeah, initially for first month I didn't have a part-time job, so it was all studies and it was all sunrises or sunsets for me. And when the part-time job came in, I understood that I need to have a schedule, like what does my week look forward. And I have that even now. I know that I'm doing these three things tomorrow, and I need to compartmentalize things really well. So for me, the time management came in really well when I started scheduling things from my end. So I have an habit of doing it like a day prior, and I think it might help you guys as well. So and also, you, like with the critical path, you know what is going to come ahead. You always have a view of what is going to happen in the next lecture, so you can prepare for it before time. So that really helped me in my first semester.
Thanks, Shruti. So for me, I wasn't working part time in my first two semesters. I started working for my break. So in my first two semesters, what I did was I went through the critical path, put my timetable, and apart from that, on my calendar, apart from that, I entered all the quizzes and assignments. And moving forward, like going throughout the day and through the week, even like a group assignment, if I know I have a group assignment due, I would need to meet with the group before ahead. So I would put that 1 hour 30-minute session in my calendar. So I knew that I need to dedicate this time for a group assignment and even studying sessions though. So if you have a part-time job, you have to leave at this point. So you have to prepare. Okay, I have 2 hours, 3 hours to prepare for the quiz that's tomorrow. So I think the simplest step on your phone, which is the calendar, that helps a lot to prepare you for this entire semester.
Yeah, from my personal perspective, like I've been here for one semester. So for me, like I used to plan everything on a weekly basis. Like every Monday, I would look upon the schedule. Like of course, I have 6 classes a week, 3 days a week. So usually, what I used to do is like myself and I have a close group of friends. So what we used to do is like every Monday we used to book a meeting room over here. So yeah, I'll explain on that too. There's a meeting. We have to explain that too. Okay. So yeah, so the thing is like we book a meeting room over here, and we take around 3 hours of time so that we can plan on what all we have ahead of the week. Like whether it's a quiz, we just take a basic outline of what all we got to study, and if it's individual projects, we just sit and do it separately. And if it's a group project, we make sure that we'll have that too. During my last 2 months, I had to submit a project every week for project management. I had to submit one charter every week, so it was pretty hectic for us. So in that case, planning, I know that planning 1 day 2 days can be like easier, but for us, like, it was very efficient planning a week ahead, because over like the first month or maybe 1.5 months might be like little bit, it might just be a cool breeze, but over a period of time you get starting a lot of assignments. You'll get lots of individual assignment as well as group assignments. So in that case, planning ahead and doing tasks a little more earlier than the due date, it'll play a really important role in attaining maximum success.
I have a follow-up because I feel like you folks rightfully focus on the coursework side, but the question's also asking about balancing with personal life. And so I'm curious about, like, what are the things that you do to, like, give you enjoyment, to make you happy? Like, what's your favorite part about being in Toronto? Like, how do you balance these kinds of things? And also, maybe as we're entering now like a winter season where the sun is not out as long, how do we kind of navigate that? So that might be a more specific one, but I'm just curious, like, what are your things to do? How do you? So we're talking about managing time, but I'm curious, like, what brings you joy in the city?
So I mentioned previously, I am very close to my 6 group mates. So what we do is we have a list. Okay, we are going to go to Canada's Wonderland. We are going to go to this place, Montreal, Quebec. So what we do is during summer and even during spring, when we went to see the flowers bloom. So we checked it off our list. Then in summer we went to Canada's Wonderland. We checked it on our list. So that is something we do. I know all of us have part-time jobs, and one of my friends is working full-time. So my friends are very organized. We have a calendar that has all of our schedules, like availability, and based on our availability, we plan ahead. So we know what we know what each of us are doing throughout the day. So we know when each of us are available to go here and there. So we go out to eat weekly, I would say. And my husband and I also we go out every week. One thing I love is shopping, so I love to go to shop. So I do that not weekly. I would be broke, but every few months, I would say. So there's Vaughan Outlet Mills, there's Eden Center close by, and there's a lot of restaurants here close by. So there's Jack Castor's here, which is nice. And my friends, my group mates, we have a tradition. At the end of each semester, we go and celebrate at Jack Castor in Dundas. So it has a great view of the Dundas Square. So we spend the entire night there after our exams are done. So that is a tradition we have. So we call ourselves family away from home because we need each other's support. Like when each of we might not always be in our best spirits, so we support each other. So when someone is down, we go to help them out. We ask them to come to our place, food, drinks. We It doesn't always need to spend a lot of money, which you can do it at home. You can play games. You can balance your personal life, because I know it's very hard to be away from family where you have been very close to your parents, your cousins, and when they're not there, you might miss them. But that is what we are doing with my group mates to support each other. So we know each of us are there to support each other, so that we are all doing our best and doing what we came here to do.
I want to hear the other folks. Sorry. I want to hear the folks' answers really briefly, but just quickly, Wasana, you're talking about it's amazing what you're talking about. You have this community, it's home away from home, family away from home. My question is, like, how did you get that family away from home? Because all these folks are coming here. Many of them are individuals, not with other, maybe no partners, maybe no family, no friends. So I'm just curious, that maybe things we have on campus or things that you've done to make those connections as well. Maybe we can speak to that, because we're running short on time. So how did you find
For me specifically, it's like I come from India, so for me it's pretty much like I'm not like very specific on finding people from my place, because I speaking frankly, I'm from Chennai, so I couldn't find any. But for me it's pretty much like in campus I was able to mingle a lot with lot of my community people. Like it all started at class, like a first class. I was sitting alone obviously, and over a period of time, just a conversation starts off on maybe academics or something like just a small conversation. It leads up to something eventually big, and that's how I got my family over here. Like I have a as just like Vasana, I also have just a small bunch of group. It's around 10 people, and we are really close right now. Like the way you develop good relations over here is like, getting to know people to a better extent. Like, everyone has their own story, everyone has the reason why they've come here. Some people are, just grads who have just joined as freshers over here, and some people are people who have just already worked a lot, and then they've come here for their higher studies. So when you're able to, correlate with different people, get to know their stories, and like when you have common interests, you get to know them better, and so that eventually forms a group automatically. So that's my story. I got a good bunch of people by, talking a lot and networking a lot. So that's how it works.
Something like I'd like to add is come to community gatherings every Monday, hosted by Micah and the peer mentorship team. You never know who you will get to meet. So we play fun games, and that's how you meet new people.
So community hours and community gatherings. You can find those in the portal.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, so I think yeah, yeah, for me personally, the first day when I walked in, I remember I was looking out for recommendation, like for a permanent basis. So and there were similar people from my class who were doing the same thing, and it was very instantaneous. We looked for accommodation together, and that is how I found my group. And it was my first Christmas away from family this time, and but it was a really good Christmas, like Christmas that I would remember. We had a proper five course meal, and we had a lot of games that night. And I think finding family away from home is really important, and that you can do. I think the first place that you should look to would be your college, because that is how I found mine.
Amazing. I love it. I think like, you have some stories here, and again, they're going to be around, so you can ask questions toward the end as well. One to kind of just note one last thing. We're short on time, but I thought it was really important to let you folks get into that kind of question. So finding community. I'm going to just reiterate a few things I've heard here. So the community hours are drop-in programs that happen literally in the Learning Commons right there almost every day, not every day, almost every day once classes start. You'll see at least these two and other folks there for drop-in programs. We have our peer mentorship program, community gatherings, and you don't have to be in the peer mentorship program. You can just come to this community gathering. Micah and the other peer mentors organize it. It's the peer-to-peer drop-in hello, great social opportunities there. This afternoon, we're also having a couple other pieces. So we're having the student engagement, or my GS student engagement, I believe we have it called. That session, we have a couple games where you have a chance to meet each other. So it's almost like some speed friending with some good, interesting questions, active listening, some great stuff. So if you're like, hey, this is great, but like, how do I do that? I wanted to give you a few examples of what you could do. And one of them is happening this afternoon at 1, right? At 1 till 2, 1 till 2.